just in the game kind of stuff. But talking about priorities, Karma is making it through. We do see that there is a lack of Pantheon bans. It's going to be the Varus taken away, I think very smartly, considering it is Elk's best champion so far this split, or this year. So is this going to be a Karma? Is this going to be Pantheon? Or is it going to be Rumble?
True. I do like the Nocturne ban towards Jwei. It's something he's really been highlighting towards as well, away from obviously the Xin Zhao. But hey, stock standard for Weibo. Make Nya beat himself, I guess. Rise is the lock-in for Xiaohu.
I think you can just take Pantheon Azir and you're probably fine. You could also try to match. I just think that Pantheon is really strong. It is, again, a champion that Wei does not typically get access to, but should be looking to try to take off. And if we're just trying to pick, like, scaling mids against each other, Nya has shown, not only in solo queue, but in his professional career, a proclivity to kind of move towards this champion. And I think Azir is almost always a champion that you have to know as a top-level mid when we're talking about competitive play.
Just circling back to that point, like, I just wonder how much it changes the game plan for IG, because they still need to find that consistency with the squad, and you're changing out one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle for general League of Legends here with Nya. So we do get the Karma that was let through, locked in for IG. So going to start off their bot lane duo.
There's the Vi. Vi's definitely dropped off. Jiejie is one of the few players that is playing it, although it is kind of just a champion that we don't see a ton of. There's the Rumble. So all three champions I was mentioning that made it through that have been incredibly high priority, gone already. Rumble Rise, to me, kind of says that we are going to play a little bit of a like dive composition. Rise is going to be able to move to side lanes very quickly. Rumble, his range that he has with his ultimate lets you get into backline. And now for bottom lanes, I think with Ezreal banned, Corki is kind of the next one that's up, and that's going to be the most abusive for both teams to try to look for.
I'm still not a fan of LPL Corki. Not a fan. We do get the Ambessa locked in for Breathe. That's going to be a nice one for that backline access. The combos of the Pantheons and Ambessas is always very, very lethal, and going to have a Karma right behind it to kind of shield and speed up, which really nice combos put together so far. You have like super scaling meta style with a little bit of facilitation from Jiejie for Weibo. And on the other side, you just have a lot of aggression so far in the roaming power of IG.
I like the Vi because I think if they didn't have this champion, or if this was a different non-committal kind of jungler, I think trying to kill an Ambessa or a Pantheon with a Karma on their side is near impossible. And so getting that kind of lockdown to make sure, even in the mid game, you actually can just go for Mako immediately and kill that guy. So always a potential option here. I like the Galio ban because just don't really want to have to deal with that versus the Rise. I will say, I'm usually a really big fan of playing Rise into Galio. I think you just eat that champion alive. Thankfully, we won't have to worry about that for this first game.
I guess not. Yeah, it's rightfully so. The Lucian ban, we've been seeing a little. We saw in the last series. Didn't go so well for the Lucian, but been seeing a little bit more presence on that. We do get the Nami ban, so the duos band together there. So we're getting a lot of those duo bans. The Orianna Nocturne obviously had already come off the board, but now looking at the final ban for Weibo in this first game and getting into the second phase of picks.
Are they going to be looking for an assassin, right? Or are they just going to say, like, let's get rid of maybe another support? It's going to be an Annie, which now actually doesn't have like the best win rate on. Haven't seen it so far in his... He actually is 3-0, so I will discount that entirely. Seems like IG are playing kind of like a poke composition, but the poke is we're going to send Ambessa as like a missile forward, and Jin is going to basically play second fiddle to this kind of team. So we'll see what the answer. So, there we go. Yeah. I think the Nami ban was smart from IG because this means that you're probably not going to see Corki.
I'm looking at Weibo's comp, and man, while the misfortune does require some serious execution, Their team combo, like their wombo combo and single target lockdown in a bunch of AoE is going to be so powerful, it seems, at least from the setup they have right now.
I have actually been really excited for Weibo if they are going to commit to this strategy. The big problem we have had with Hong is that he is not really an enchanter kind of player. So the reason why they won that series versus Top Esports is they just said, we're going to play Engage. We're going to play the Nautilus. We're going to play the Recon. And you're just going to have to deal with the fact that this guy is in your face. And they have a perfect setup. And coming back to our man in the mid lane, now is going to pick his signature Akali.
At this point, it is the LPL pass. You have to be able to play Akali, but when it's the comfort, that's the most important thing. They gave him counter pick. He picked comfort. We've deciphered how he's going to be approaching this series, and it's definitely IG trying to lean into that factor. I mean, you are moving away from bot lane being a centerpiece to now the solo lanes being a major factor for IG.
I'm a little confused about what IG want to do because it does seem like this is going to be more of a dive composition, and I don't necessarily like the options of playing Akali into Ryze later. That I think becomes a little bit more kind of suspect to me. I think right now what I'm going to be looking for is, can they punish this Rumble later on? Whether that is them moving into side lanes or just punishing him by trying to reorient themselves in fights and maybe even picking off Misfortune. Does Misfortune ever get her chance to really just sit down, pull out the ult, and start let them blasters fly?
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. Like, there is that bar of execution there for them, for the Misfortune to figure out the timings on the ult. But if you get, the cease and desist lockdown, so much can be followed up on that with the comp that Weibo has. And it's one of those things where you have to compare the level of execution needed for either comp. And honestly, I give them a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt in there. Some of the pieces for IG need some time or need some help to get coming together. But we're in Xi'an. We are watching a pivotal series between two teams that are trying to burst into that top bubble. It's Weibo versus IG, game number 1.
That white noise is good now. It's going to be one of the first
Let's
times
go.
you've heard a big crowd screaming out for your team's success. We're already seeing a lot of early trading. Mako on worse for wear, honestly. And Jungler's also starting opposite side, but look at those wards immediately. Both teams putting some kind of vision around this Raptor camp.
Yeah, I really appreciate actually the double river vision right now from IG. One from Nya earlier on, and then obviously you have that one in bot lane now. Just trying to keep as much control over vision as they can right now. Really nice spread for them. But it is going to be interesting where these junglers are trying to get involved early with those opposite side starts. And we'll say IG are going to have a bit of priority on this bot side, at least early.
This is the problem with playing Misfortune into Jin Karma. Jin can somewhat match, but has the better range. Karma just completely pokes you out. So you need to be really decisive about when you're going for plays and if you're going to be able to go for them. Jiejie is crossing the river. He has been the biggest progenitor about going for early invades, but it's not even for jungle camp. It's to get his bot lane out.
It's so spicy. I want to see him go for it. Come on. Commit. Commit to the bit. The flash comes out late from Jiejie. The ball breaker comes through on a Jiejie now 2, and the combo strikes home. First blood for Weibo.
Wei was thinking, hey, we had the wards on the river. This is going to be enough for us. They trade some summoner spells, but who cares, man? You just got 2 kills. You just got a kill for yourself, and Jiejie's going to miss out on a pretty nasty wave. This is what I mean. When Weibo commit to their style, that's when I think they have found a lot of success, not trying to play to the beat of other teams' drums.
What a rebuttal from that earlier part where they were getting pushed in. Really, really nice clutch gank from Jiejie. He's going to be a little bit slower on his clear now. Obviously still trying to make it through the paces of the first clear. You did end up getting Wei on the pathing here coming through towards this top side. He's going to get the scuttle. Could eventually go for double scuttle if he wants to, but also could fail out Breathe in the top lane.
I think right now what Pantheon is going to do is probably look for a recall. You want to just make sure that you're up on items. And we're already seeing the support start to move over. I would much rather be on Weibo's side where I have a Nautilus to try to play. Seems like instead Jiejie going for a slightly different path because he invested so much time. There you go, Lennon. You get to have double scuttle here for the Pantheon. So let's see if Jwei can pay off his team, because this is a very big boon to have early on as any jungler, much less the Pantheon.
And especially, I mean, we've seen Pantheon in the LPL now for 2 splits almost, at least consistently. Oh, little Dreadblind hook hits onto Mako. Nice little lollipop from Hung. But if you can get the pace going as the Pantheon, you are just so incredibly oppressive. He will not take the bait and will not finish the control ward. He'll take his back on a ward. I don't know if Hung maybe wants to play a little gamesies here with Jwei. He's going to Hex Flash. It's not going to be soon enough, but maybe looking to go on to Mako. Not going to take that one, as Jiejie did stop his back. Do have Jwei getting to redeploy now as Hung goes right back in.
They're going to see Jiejie on the ward. Hung's just going to take a little bit of damage. You're playing Nautilus, brother. I think you're going to be fine. Also to note, Elk was able to get a recall after that first blood and gets himself a Vampiric Scepter. That is a very important buy for being able to sustain versus the Karma and Jhin. And outside of that, it is just a very measly gold lead here for Elk, but it has been really cool to see how jungle has evolved. I know the champion pool hasn't been very fun. I know you've been a big proponent of that, but I think the gameplay we have seen has been more different than anything else we have seen in recent years.
It's my favorite thing that we went away from the Atacon and the double grubs, because, and it was something we knew was coming, but it just gives more agency to the jungle themselves being able to decide what they want to do. And I think we've really seen that, especially in split number 1, but here in split 2, we've seen a lot of little niche styles, little niche paths that have ended up finding boons early on into the games. Speaking of, we already seen that here for Weibo. Now we're getting things kind of a little set on the map. We are getting to that level 6 point, at least for our solo lanes. Realm Morph going to be available for Xiaohu, and a pivotal piece to his career has been his mobility from the mid lane.
Okay, what else can we really see in this early game? We didn't talk about, like, I guess scaling. I do think that these teams are kind of even. Generally, though, I would say that Weibo have a much more clear team composition, and I think their front to back I would prefer. But early Dragons, if this Misfortune and Nautilus can continue to have priority, I think it's a really good way for Weibo to take one of the strongest pieces of their map in general from a roster building perspective to then turn that into Dragons. And I think, again, Jiejie, in my current count for top 3 junglers right now, he has been really impressive despite the win column not being as stacked as he would have wanted.
Yeah, I could agree with that for sure. As Jwei is actually going to go for a bit of an invade. Jiejie is going to be starting his Gromp here. Xiaohu's going to find Jwei out. Again, this is all in front of the dragon. Not even going to be a big focus. And see Jiejie just kind of letting this play out. Realm Morph going to come in. We were talking about it. Level 6s had been completed. Insta heal to get the speed going on to Mako. They're trying to take down the Karma, but the Karma is so fast. Grand Starfall comes in, and now Xiaohu might just pay the price. He pays it dearly for his team as Nya tries to go for the finishing blows, but it's going to be the curtain call that opens up and potentially takes Elk. Jiejie going to block nicely. Bodyguard enacted, as that will be an IG turn of play in the bot side.
They just didn't have ultimates from multiple different members. Jiejie's just going to walk him down underneath the turret. Curtain call's not available. Did just use it. I'm big dummy from me. But they got the blue buff. Jwei gets level 6, and then they can continue the play. There was no damage there from Elk. That was a rather expensive mistake coming in from Weibo, where I think because of the double scuttle there, we get to see IG turn, who was supposed to be a big play coming in for Weibo Gaming.
Why don't you just go for Jiejie?
Yeah. I mean, the shield, the tether, he gets the heal as well from the summoner spell. This was very well played. And by the way, while Xiaohu dies, Hung goes down to Nya. So already we're seeing this rookie really start to pop off in their first game.
And it's those mechanical moments that the comp was drafted for IG, and you're going to start seeing that roaming power of the Mbessa Pantheon and Akali coming through here. Weibo will get their own back with the grub cake. Dragon still hadn't been taken, so still is a possibility on the bot side of the map. But the grubs are going to be a nice little reprieve for Weibo, and will give them some sieging power as time goes on too.
Karma's behind. There's no Pantheon ult. But this is, Jesus Christ, Jiejie.
I don't know if it was better to take the Q or to backstep. That's such a hard position to be in.
Yeah, I'm more so just surprised that double longsword D-blade fourth shot has that much damage packed into it.
Yeah, it does.
Considering Jiejie first items plated steel caps. That's
kind of base though.
Yeah, I think you needed it in this game, especially versus this 2v2. Wei's gonna get spotted going in, at least trying to start this dragon. And with
top lane
Breathe by himself, I don't think there's gonna be a dive.
Breathe is starting to lose out a little bit on the CS differential on that top side. Something to think about as time goes on as well. I think we know why Rumble has been so highly prized so far this split. And Mbessa too. Still for a little while till all those big changes start coming through. But that'll be a problem for later us as the game goes on here, but we're almost at that 10-minute mark. We did finally have that dragon taken. It was just those neutral objective trades from both sides of things, and first items going to be coming up here sooner rather than later. A lot of vision control too coming out from IG.
This is what you need to do. We said the same thing against Jiejie, or against Tarzan. I would say very similarly here for Weibo. As long as you can track the enemy jungle, you kind of just get to have free reign. It's why we saw Ashe be so OP for such a long time, and probably why we continue to see her permaban. I think that is even doubly so if you're going to play these engaged supports. You can see where they're roaming, see which map they're going to impact. Topside.
Zika gets flashed on. Public execution comes out too, and Zika can't do anything but watch his health bar be depleted. The kill goes to Breathe, and another one for IG.
Well, that's going to make up the entire deficit that he had in this lane. I respect to Zika for trying to walk forward and use his ultimate to maybe cut out the mini wave, but decides against it. He'll just TP back into this lane after a short kill given over to Breathe. Wei is being the early driver. That's exactly how we've seen IG win before.
Oh my God, Mako still doesn't go down. The power of the karma still just takes everything. The double ults and the CC chain from the bot lane of Weibo and survives.
We have no damage, right? Like, if you don't have crit chance early, the bullet time's not going to do very much. Bloodthirster, the components are really front-loaded on just minor damage and some of these other stats like lifesteal. So a full bullet time, that was heal and tether from Mako. A lot of good patience to just say, like, I'm not going to die. I don't need to waste my flash.
Yeah.
I'm getting worried, Lennon. 3-1 here for IG, and they're starting to make some really good headway, and they got the first dragon.
Hey, maybe it's time to get the monkey off their back, man. I don't know. It all started with Weibo. That was the start of the downfall of IG. Can they turn it all around as Mako might be in some trouble? He does get out with a flash. Okay. TP coming in, though. Zika has decided to show his face on bot side, and Jiejie pays the price for that one. A Realm Warp will come through. They'll ensure that Wei goes down as well. So immediately we talk about IG looking good, and that little lead that they have carved out is gone.
Now, this does go over to Zika and Alk, but I'm looking where the gold is being spread elsewhere. Breathe is going to get maybe 2 plates on top, and you just gave over a plate in mid. So all in all, I would actually say it's an even trade for both teams, and you got the TP out from Zika, who didn't use it to get back into lane. All in all, I'm fairly happy with that. You did get 2 kills over, so kind of have to think about what the trade is going to be worth, and no Realm Warp means that plays, the global plays that we'll see from Weibo are going to be that much more limited, whereas Grand Starfall is coming off of cooldown now.
And that's something we need to kind of see an uptick in, is Wei taking advantage of the side lanes with these Grand Starfalls. It's the tried and true combo of the Pantheon in the recent age, at least. As we will see the kind of clears just coming through. We'll have Mako looking for roams, as well as Elk having made his known mid. Zika getting caught again. We just said want to see Jwei using the Grand Starfalls. Oh, nice little cheeky sidestep. He's going to try to back in the bush. Yeah, I don't think.
Proxy the wave, brother.
Maybe,
Proxy
maybe. Oh, Jiejie. But hey, you know, Mako's on the top side, and Jiejie is left all by himself as Hung barely escapes. Zika almost turned around to kill onto Mako on the top side, but it will be a return kill, 1-1.
Getting Jiejie there is massive. This is another trade that I do think still goes in favor of IG. You're able to get Nya another wave on bottom side. Breathe hits this turret plate again. This went from a full health turret to now 3 plates. And Weibo are the team that got 3 grubs. Lennon, I am liking the trades that we are getting from IG, and it just feels like Weibo are maybe one step behind. They're making kind of retribution plays, whereas I think IG are the ones that are setting the pace here.
And that's super important, the style of comp that they have, because if they're in the driver's seat, they get to decide when those engages come through, and that's when their comp thrives. We are on these first item spikes here, Alk, and we have the potential for objective trades coming through. As you see what happened at that top side, how Mako got close to dying. We actually didn't get to see it. Dragon's up in 5 seconds. We have Rift Herald in 30.
No replay for you.
They started it, but then they didn't show it. I guess that maybe just because he doesn't have his ult for the dragon or whatever.
Okay, Weibo are going to try to preemptively go for gold here. They want to look for more turret plates. They know that they can't contest for a dragon. That's exactly what I want to see from teams. Don't just stand in a 5-on-5 where we're just going to kind of like dilly-dally around a dragon and stare at each other while one team takes it. Try to make plays on the side of the map. Get some of these turret plates, especially with 3 grubs. IG will now have 2 dragon stacks, and with Zika with no teleport and no flash, and he looks at his teammates, they're not in a great spot to cover him. He has to be afraid about this Akali, who we talked about some of the side lane potential for Weibo. I think Akali, if she is not behind, can eat this Rumble alive.
True. And super important to keep an eye out there too. And we also have like 1.5 items now for Breathe and Jwei, where Breathe now has the Eclipse and the Hex Drinker, so a little bit helpful there. We had the Hextech GLP there for Jiejie. A little bit differing is Elk with the Sustain with the Bloodthirster, but the Rift Herald is what everybody has their eye on. We're already getting redeploys to this side of the map. Jwei is on that side. Jiejie is not. So maybe looking for a little bit of something. The Realm Warp coming through. It's going to bring Hung over. Jiejie is just the poor little Jin. Gets his teammate knocked up, but luckily the TP just immediately pulls Weibo away from the play. They're going to turn this around. The bullet time's going to stop them in their tracks, though. Jiejie going to back off Nya as now bot side Zika in some trouble against Breathe. We just talked about the 1.5 item spike there for Breathe. He can't chase him down. He's going to run into Jiejie. Still trying to get Zika. Zika's not going to go down just yet, but Jwei has shown up with the Grand Starfall, taking the Metro Express to take down poor old Zika.
I never follow my own advice. I literally should have just stuck with the IG prediction, guys.
Every time.
Oh my god. Well, they try to keep killing Jiejie, but it doesn't matter when you don't deal damage, and in particular, I think IG are really punishing on side lanes. Breathe, they took so much damage out of Mbessa's early lane phase that now once you've completed an item and once you get some levels under your belt, this champion is a menace. And currently Rumble is just getting hunted for gold on sides.
Little cheeky play from Hung there. Just like threatening to get Mako and then using his dredge line back so they get the back off at the same time. Kind of genius. But now we are looking at this top side since we aren't going to have a big middle play. And when we're looking at this Rift Herald, which we've seen Weibo have 3 grubs already, it is 2 items on Jwei that really terrifies me, as we do see a lot of vision from Weibo around this top side.
Yeah, and Pantheon's level 11 is way better than Jiejie's level 11. For starters,
he's got a full level over him.
Yeah, no, he does, but more importantly, Pantheon just gets armor penetration, putting a 2nd point in his ultimate. So Jiejie will not have access to that. He has some armor cleave thanks to the denting blows, but I'm liking how IG are playing this kind of spread where kind of play towards the top side. We have this massively strong Pantheon, and Herald coming up 2 minutes before Dragon. Breathe is fine, I think.
He's going to flash preemptively just to make sure he can get away from Xiaohu. The Realm Warp will have been utilized, though. And I do believe I see Jwei going ahead and starting up that objective on the top side.
Monk's coming over. Are they really gonna force for this dive? I don't like this. This is a Mesa. She might not have the flash, but I think having Hex Shrinker Shield versus a Rise, sign me up.
Mako in a lot of trouble now as he's gonna have to burn his flash, getting away from the depth charge and a potentially charging Jiejie.
Oh. Elk lost his flash. They just
he did.
They took the Herald, Grand Star fall mid, Elk no flash. What happened? Where is this IG? There we go. Okay. Yeah, you sorry, Misfortune. You stepped over the quarter line of your
You're not allowed to do that, Elk.
Yeah. Show some respect to the 2-item Pantheon.
He's on 2 items now off his back. He got the collector completed there. That's going to feel pretty good. So I guess the biggest conversation, we'll have another dragon coming up here soon, but when is soon enough for Weibo? Because they have taken the lead. It's a small lead. It's fluctuated a bit. They are on 2 items. We talked about their scaling. 2, 3 items, 4 items? What are we looking at?
3 items is pretty good. Jiejie is quite poor though. Like he's down
he's in a
3
tough
camps, but because of all these kills that Wei has taken part of, he's not anywhere complete. He's probably just gonna have to recall and finish his Black Cleaver now. Cool, awesome. We can try to fight, but this is just gonna be sole point here for IG. They have Herald.
So
they can play
huge.
on every single wave that they want. Zika is gonna try to flank TP, but you're playing Rumble. All you can do is Equalizer, and that's it.
Speed! He's just running in there. Is just going to threaten that flank, but the Rift Herald will be dropped. Wei looking to use it to charge in the mid lane, potentially take down that outer tower, but also provide a distractionary tool ahead of this dragon fight. They want to get Prio over the river, and they'll move in to do so. Weibo trying to sprint over and block their entrance. They get over, so it's nicely set by Weibo, but it's got to be the execution on this dragon that's the most important part out.
Zika is going to be a little bit tougher to kill with that quest, giving him the shield. Xiaohu's also already finished with the Seraphs.
They're going straight onto Wei, but it might have been a little bit too zealous. Wei does end up making it away here. Oh, they get the catch out, and Breathe just goes down in the back line. Nya has also committed here. They're going to try to get some queen kills. Nya does get the perfect execution onto Elk, but does go down as well. Dragon is going to go over, and that is secured by IG. So sole point secured for them. They're going to get a kill back. Look at Jiejie. He's got the Hextech GLP going, but is it going to be enough? He's going for a 4th shot on the Xiaohu and 3 kills to the Jin. Looking for Zika, but it's not going to be the case. They've gotten kills. They've gotten the soul point, and IG are giving Weibo a run for their money.
Oh, and I still... We're in the same position. It's like we just took a snapshot of the game right before this. The only thing that's different is IG got the mid-tier one, and they still got the dragon here. We'll see this engage yet again. Look at how difficult it is for Elk to play Misfortune here. Pantheon E is eating up some of the damage. The Misfortunal is just not set up, so they can't even kind of push back on them. And then Breathe tries to assassinate him with Nya, but there's nothing to help. Jiejie is way too far away. And they're able to pick out some kills. If this is just a play by itself, I think Weibo are really happy, but the second half of this fight is where IG get to bite back into some of that gold. And now that we have some time here, Lennon, I'm gonna have to sit you down, brother. You and I, we're gonna go look at Jiejie's inventory. What is the item of, what is this item called? It is not GLP.
He just got, oh, the first item he completed?
Yes.
Hextech something.
It is C44 Hex Optics. You could just use
Hex Optics. There you go.
When you
GLP is the mid lane one, right?
It's the water gun. It's a super soaker.
Yeah, super
10.
soaker. Dude, I missed that one. Oh, Zika, he's gonna miss that one too. I'm sure he was around in season 10. Nia maybe not though, and Nia gets the kill too. So 3-1 now.
Zika actually just used the real GLP that's in his kit to super soak the minion wave. He's playing Rumble in the jungle and topside. You know, that's actually a skin that might have a water gun on it.
Dude, that item was so sick though. That's a little throwback.
Not when Glacial was still in the game, because what you would do
Dude,
is
you would just like
you would spray someone or the whole team, and then there would just be a complete area where you just couldn't walk, where there's like minus 60% MS. Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
I do miss having some actives in the game. Not all of them.
Twin
This
Shadows,
is why,
that one's really old.
Yeah, Twin Shadows is old. I'm really glad we brought back Gunblade.
Gunblade's sick. Yeah.
Yeah. Gunblade is
Deathfire
iconic.
coming back. No big deal.
Yeah, but that one's not an active. That's just a rune.
It's not. Yeah.
We don't even have to talk about that. That's not like.
Anyways.
Oh, look at Jiejie. We got real damage.
We got. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I thought you were bringing up the fact that he has RFC and he doesn't have damage, but I was gonna caveat it by saying, well, he got so much gold that he's already gonna complete his IE soon, so he will have damage, and now he does. And he got all 3 of those kills in that last fight. We'll see if he can continue to capitalize on it. But that's that team fight that we really wanted to see out of Jiejie, the thing that we were asking for coming into the series.
I think Jin has been quite maligned, sometimes correctly so, sometimes mostly for the bit, I would say. But when you have Jin, I think he is one of the best scaling AD carries in the game. Just the raw attack damage you get with this champ is ridiculous. And with this build in particular, he's going to pack a punch. And right now, I think the story of this game is IG with Nya and Jiejie on this Jin versus Xiaohu. Because Xiaohu is now a 3-item rise. He's going to be level 16. Not on this dragon, but maybe afterwards. And that's kind of the time in which we need to see Weibo step forward. This is the last stop before an Infernal Soul essentially ends the game for them.
Teacher Alk, I'm raising my hand.
What's
you
up?
Can't see it. Teacher Alk, I know this one.
Okay.
Xiaohu. It's called the actualizer. I was gonna say aqualizer.
No, sorry, this is also GLP. I'm sorry.
Oh,
This is
okay.
also
Sorry.
GLP.
Oh shit. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyways,
And we're sending you to another
to
WB series after this, brother. So don't worry, going back to the farm.
We'll see. 25 seconds till that Infernal Soul. This is something that Weibo really want to play around. They're going to try to preempt it, as they were thinking maybe they could catch somebody out ahead of it. But it's going to be IG moving into the top side river of the Dragon Pit.
Xiaohu's like, how much dedication to the team do you have? How badly do you want the Hank to come in?
Send it.
Yeah, if you don't go in this portal, there's a new support ready for game number 2. It'll be Weibo starting this up. Flashes available for everybody. Guardian Angel, most importantly, here for Wei, so he can send it a little bit early and still give his team a little bit of leeway.
That's the important thing. Got to play with your body. Infernal Soul is so big. Do you want to flip the game on it at least? This lead that is so close. It's going to go over to Weibo, and they do deny the soul. It's going to be the immediate public execution coming out of the back line. Perfect execution going to be used too. He's going to find one. Does die in the equalizer on the back end, but it's IG looking to clean up some kills now. They do end up getting the 2-piece here on the bot lane of Weibo. They're going to try to catch out Zika, but he's going to TP out. Oh, Xiaohu.
He's out. He's on a vision.
He's out like a magician.
Wow. Can't believe he's able to recall there. Okay, I will never fault a team for playing to their style, to the thing that is going to work best for the 5 players on the Rift. The thing is, you always have to play with the fact that your champions may not be as highly prioritized or as efficient as some of the other champions. And we have seen that consistently here in this game. This MF is quite useless. I'll just be frank.
Yeah.
There is very little setup.
Anything.
And every single fight, it feels, starts off with Elk die. Like, Equalizer, Mbessa ultimate. Perfect execution from Nya here. Excellent. And even though he dies, and he very funnily puts himself directly on the Equalizer
yeah, he went
to go
into
down.
the
I think it is still a worthy attempt, and we're just seeing Weibo can just fall over themselves. They don't have the setup, they don't have the front line. Even just having an Aftershock Nautilus is not enough. I think this Karma is providing way too much value.
Yeah, there is so much value coming out from Mako, and I've really appreciated his leaning into, obviously everybody's leaning into enchanters, but it's been really cool to see Mako kind of weaving through this and finding those picks that, especially, I mean, he's had some incredible Seraphine plays over the last few weeks as well, but the Karma is just subtly bringing IG over that edge in this game so far. Still not a big lead to speak of, but it's the inherent map control that we've seen IG express so far in this game.
And so now it'll be kind of, we wanted to see map plays from
Oh,
Weibo.
they got the catch.
Jesus.
Oh, Elk.
Elk is dead.
Every fight starts with Elk dying. You said it yourself, and that's going to be another one.
there's no map play to be had if we can't survive on sides. Like, Zika dying multiple times was basically slowing the game down for Weibo. That was a realm warp from Xiaohu to join his team in mid, but now there's no entry into the pit. Jiejie is probably just going to have to send it, and if they don't do that, are we going to take a 4-on-5?
Public execution goes straight onto the target. It goes straight onto Xiaohu, and he is eliminated. And that's going to be a complete knockout of Weibo in this game number 1. That lead that was so thin, the margin so fine, is now 3,000 gold for IG and a Baron on top of it all.
Do we really need to see Elk walk into a fog of war? He didn't know, they didn't have control of that brush. Maybe he felt safe because Jiejie just came from that Raptor pit. He's like, oh, surely no one's in the topside jungle here for IG. Free Baron, and so I am looking at the timer. This Baron is going to go straight into that dragon. And yeah, Weibo have not been able to play the sides. They have not really been able to team fight. This was a beautiful
the deadly
public
flourish.
execution.
Yeah, public execution for sure. The deadly flourish, though, on top of it. You know, just got to give the man his flowers, all right?
You didn't even have his first item right, okay? Let's pull back a little bit on the glaze for the Jin champion.
Hey, all right. That'll never happen. That'll never happen.
All right.
Anyways, though, it is still IG with a full control map right now over Weibo. And again, this is a team that did not have a good time after they had lost to Weibo in the first series that they faced each other of this split. But now here, they find themselves in a game 1 lead at least. And they're going to try to push some more of these tier 2s. One shot will take down that tier 2. The Crystalline Overgrowth really doing a lot, and that will end up giving them mid control and bot control to move over into this dragon when they so please. There's going to be a potential catch out.
Here we go.
Coming in. They got lazy, and Jiejie just walks into the trap that Weibo planned. That's going to be almost 1,500 gold going over.
And 30 seconds before dragon. Okay.
That's insane.
We try to make a rotation in between the lanes. That is finally the one play where we use Realm Warp to abuse this Jin and Karma. And I'll be honest, Lennon, I was looking at Jin's health bar. There was a lot of Karma shields on that one. That brother was living for a very long time. So finally, Weibo will have some kind of ability to play this game out. They will maybe get themselves this next dragon if Wei steals this. That has got to be the dagger that sends this game to an IG first win.
I feel like this series, at least when we see these two teams face off, it seems to always revolve around those smites, and especially Wei versus Jiejie. But there will be no smite fight today, at least for now. It will just be the dragon going over to Weibo. It'll be the second dragon for them. So they're starting to stack up those infernal dragons. And, you know, we're almost on that 4th item spike for Xiaohu.
If it's Death Cap, sign me up. If it is a Zonia's, I will also take that as a viable solution.
Is there anything you wouldn't take? Sorry.
Probably a GLP. But I would be surprised. At the very least, I'd be surprised if he had that in his inventory. In the same way that we were saying that the many Zika deaths on side lane kind of slowed the game down in favor of IG, I wonder if that pick onto Jiejie and Mako is going to be the stopgap that Weibo need to get back into this game. And I kind of wanted to take a stop to talk about the mid lane. I know we have been focusing on Xiaohu as this Rise is very strong. But I think Nia's actually been playing really, really well in this matchup. And this potentially could be a good softball layup for Nia to continue to have more confidence going forward if he's going to be the starting mid laner.
And it's one of those things where he has a very, very forward job, as we're going to see Weibo trying to put a job on the way. That's going to be the flash out there, so the catch wasn't there. They don't get the GA either. A little bit unfortunate. But yeah, Nia has one big job, and that's to make sure Elk doesn't get to have fun. And if it also takes down Xiaohu too, that's awesome. But when you can take that piece out, when you can take that big wombo combo that Weibo had drafted for, at least a piece of it away from their composition, that's a huge and crucial factor in these team fights coming up.
Typically with Pantheons, what we see is they have a very early game skewed path. That is a ultimate.
He still has GA, So does Jiejie. He'll get his burned immediately. Wei is probably going to lose his soon. Breed just flips his life there again. Zika goes through, but execution takes him. Nya goes down. The GA has already been popped, so there's no safety for Wei, and a triple kill comes through for Alk.
Mazel, have we just seen Weibo come back here in this game? Almost a 4-shot to kill Alk.
Oh, Jiejie, he has so much tanking, he has so much shielding, but it's not nearly enough. And another, my God!
No way.
He's just securing everything here. Dredge line after dredge line. You were thinking we were in the middle of the ocean with an oil tanker. These Wei bros have done it.
Wait a minute, they have 3 grubs, and these are some really long death timers. I don't think they can end, but they can put a really big dent. And just saying, I think Alk just got scammed out of a pentakill because he got 3 of those, and the last 2 is a full-on ace here for the Wei bros. A minute before Baron, 2 before the next dragon. Did IG throw the game when that first death for Jiejie?
The lazy walk to the bot lane. They had no vision on the other side of that wall. They had no business walking that way against this composition, and now Weibo fully reaped the benefits.
Just look at this. I want to see where public execution landed because I think it went onto Xiaohu and not onto Alk. Yes, this bullet time and the equalizer combo. Jiejie can't walk forward. Jiejie's buying time, and Breathe is just tanking bullet time shots the entire fight. IG may have just lost this game. Victory from the defeat from the jaws of victory here. And
Xiaohu's
finally
scaling,
we are seeing this. Oh my days.
Dude, Hung is a monster for this series of plays here. Just constant catches. All right, IG. Gotta recenter yourselves. Refigure out your next steps here. Items are coming through aplenty for you. 4.5, almost 5 for a majority of members. TP coming back out to join. Double TP as well. Weibo's going to join too. The Baron is the threat right now, but Dragon is coming up very shortly. Realm Warp going to come through. They were thinking about trying to catch out Breathe there if he'd stuck around, but there's not going to be much left. And it could be the start of the Baron. They're going to force the hand of IG. They feel stronger right now, Alk.
We are just hitting this. I mean, sure, it is Rise with Actualizer. You can just turn if you really want to. Seems like that is going to be the name of the play here.
The trench line connects. The bullet time on top of it. The wombo combo finally comes alive.
They're doing it!
The Dreads go on the back line. Jiejie getting healing, getting shielding. IG trying to recenter their ranks, but now Xiaohu flashes forward. The Spring Tiger has borne its fangs. It took a while, but he is chomping down on that carcass, and that carcass is IG.
They have mounted the comeback. This gold graft is going to be horrible, and our moderators are going to have to be paid overtime for what chat is going to be saying after this one. An incredible bounce back from Weibo Gaming.
That's some grit if I ever seen one, and they still sit there puppeteering IG all the time. Wow. Weibo with a 1-0 lead.
That is nuts. They're going to have to give us a replay of Jiejie and Mako walking from mid to bot tier 2.
Give it slow-mo, get me in League Director, get me the effects, get me all the get it all.
Show me Jiejie's POV. I need to see his perspective. Walking into Fog of War, and there's 15 million people, and my health bar going down. Oh my God. What an insane comeback from Weibo. And just when I thought they couldn't possibly surprise me anymore. Just when I was ready to count them out, they get me back in. And now they're going to lose 2-1.
Reel you back in, man. Why do you say that, bro? Come on. Keep confidence, all right? Keep confidence.
No, man.
Wow.
No, I'm going back in their match history, man. They had this massive game 1 win versus JDG, and then 2 games in a row.
I got to give just blanket caveat here. It was not Nya's fault.
Correct.
Not at all. Literally, that guy did his job until he couldn't do it anymore. It was other people's fault. Just giving a little microcosm. We got to give some props to Nya. He got his comfort. He was given counterpick. He was able to find a lot of success in a majority part of that game. And that's got to feel pretty good for IG, at least, to build off of.
I don't really want to place, like, blame for anybody, because it almost, when we do that, it almost feels like it is this person's fault, as if they maybe had like a willing participatory role in it, but some movement in between. We also saw that Jwei really wasn't able to continue snowballing. That when Pantheon loses their lead, or when Pantheon dies for the first time and it's not like we're trading up, that's where it becomes a little bit more problematic. And I'm still worried for Weibo, because 90% of that game was an IG win. And in those last 10%, sure, Weibo played well. They punished their opponents. But not very many teams are going to give you that. And that is why we see these two teams in the bottom 4.
Still a lot of possibilities in that latter half. But yeah, it's a tough place to be for IG. A lot of wind knocked out of their sails for sure. But for Weibo, man, stocks are up, baby. You just took down TES 2-0. You just had a miraculous comeback that you probably didn't even realize it until it was happening. That gold graph, one for the ages. It was such a close game for so long. It was like dead even for so long in that game.
The team who got Baron, the team who got First Blood. Actually, no, that was technically Weibo.
It was
the team that got 3 different dragons lost this game.
Yep. That's how the cookie crumbles. Man, I just don't even know what you're thinking as IG right now. You're just like, I had it. I
was like, it's not my fault. I knew, guys. I killed them. You can maybe blame me for perfect execution back into the Rumble equalizer, but I did what I was supposed to this game.
We're gonna take a look back at some of these plays here. As trying to remember, is this the bot lane catch?
Why are we going so slow?
Yeah, just having fun with League Director. So this is where I guess they're going to start on a Weibo positive. But for a majority of IG, we're looking real good, as we were saying earlier. Yeah. And then some of these catches come through. Really, Jiejie, I got to say, I was pretty proud of some of the positioning and stuff that he had in the fights. Obviously, in the end, he's still just a Jin. But up until when he completely lost the game in that one moment, it is also a really nice performance from Jiejie. But for Weibo, I mean, you rely on a lot of the veterancy. You rely on the grit, the tenacity of these guys, and it sticks through.
I don't want to see this one again.
I do, because Jin got a triple kill.
That's true. I feel like Weibo, a lot of their wins, not named WE, kind of feels like they not all of them, but they somewhat trip and stumble into a Nexus explosion. I don't like that. That makes my prediction.
That's the Weibo way, bro.
Way less.
What was that?
Predictable.
I didn't even notice that. Did you see that?
Yep.
Hung like it hit the dredge line and then tried to flash. Completely.
Also, Breathe, man. Breathe is not.
This was insane. This was.
Breathe and Nya, you get a pass. You guys, when we go back into review, when Helper is sitting there with the team, he's like, "Hey, you guys can go take a break, take a walk. Go grab some water. Great job tonight. I'll see you for Game 2 draft." We're going to sit down our big leaders here. Mako and Jwei, I think the bar for which they should be playing at needs to be higher, right? And also our expectation for these players should be higher as well. They have very little excuses. Mako more, like, you could say maybe Mako less because he's playing a Karma, but Jwei especially, you have had a lot of chances to prove yourself, and it's gonna be games like this that really hurt you when we're talking about not just All-Pro, but like legacy in general.
Yeah, it's tough, especially when, this is a guy that's kind of led this team and kind of brought this team back from the brink in a lot of cases, but sometimes it just goes a little bit awry. Special shout out to Hung. God, that man was cooking on the Nautilus. My goodness. Like, I would love to see a percentage of dredge line hooks, because he was constantly finding engages that were pivotal. As Jiejie does get player of the game for that one. A lot of lockdown, at least. And the denial of those 2 dragons going to feel pretty good.
I don't know if I agree with this one. I
I
kind of
don't
wish
agree
we would have
with it,
saw. I
but-
would have liked to see Xiaohu get an MVP. If not him, then you could have even given it to Elk.
I give it to
even though-
Hung, man. I give it to Hung.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, this was a rather split vote. 3
Oh,
for
wow.
jungle, 2 for bot lane, 1 for mid,
What?
and 2 for
Why did
support.
Elk get the votes?
That's the
Goat.
summoners. The voters on Weibo decided we want mid lane. And honestly, I get it.
True. Well, what a game one to kick off this second series.
Yeah.
A little bit of excitement to wake you all up at what is 5:20 a.m. on the west coast of the U.S. But that being said, we got to see what IG can do to bounce back, if they can get their head right and get this series 2 ahead itself. See if we get to go to 3 games or if Weibo close it out with another 2-0. We'll see you after a short break for game number 2.